Much more behind my smile. There's tragedy, there's love, there's sadness. I was born Catherine Emily Fiquier, born to Antoine Emile Fiquier and Christiane Cavet. They were born in Haiti. They moved to New York at the age of 25, and I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I shouldn't be standing here in front of you all today. On January 1st, 1977, my family suffered a great loss. My parents were supposed to go to a party with my aunt, and that night my parents got into an argument, and they decided to stay home. And on that night, the house that my grandmother lived in with my four cousins burned down. And I was supposed to be in that house that evening. So it was my great luck that my parents got into that argument. I thought I was gonna live in New York forever. I loved New York as a child. I loved playing in the snow. I love going to the city. I love going to Manhattan. But at the very tender age of 7, we moved to Yoami, which shortly thereafter became Miami for me. And at the very tender age of 7, I came to Florida and was welcomed by a lot of cousins. My mother had 10 siblings. I guess there wasn't very many televisions in Haiti at the time. And my cousins were very picky. They picked on me a lot. And I became a very insecure little girl. They picked on my big nose, they picked on this big forehead, and I became very self-conscious about who I was. And being that self-conscious little girl made it very difficult for me. And I didn't like to smile a lot. I really didn't like to smile at all. And so maneuvering through my teenage years, I just kind of walked through the hallways of school with just a very stoic face. And one day in school, I had a middle school teacher, and she says to me, and I happened to smile, and she says to me, "Cathie, you have such a beautiful smile. Why don't you smile a little bit more?" And then I decided, maybe if I just smiled a little bit more, maybe I could mask all of those insecurities that I was feeling on the inside. And maybe I could just hide it. And so I decided to smile and smile and smile just a little bit more, and no one would know. And so I continued along. And I tried to get in with the popular girls at school. But it so happened that only the nerds embraced me. And so that was okay. Right around my senior year, my best friend, which happened to be a guy, he and I started spending a little bit more time together. And I guess you could say we were falling in love, because he was getting ready to go off into the military, and he asked me to wait for him, and I did. He went on to serve our country. I went off to college to study business management. I went on to get my degree in business management, and when he came back, we got married, against the better judgment and against my parents' wishes. And I know why now, that they didn't want us to get married, of course. While I was maintaining my marriage, I started my career in banking, went on to work for a management consulting firm, and I've been with a wine and liquor company for the past 17 years, where I managed the gross profit and the money for my company. In addition to that, I am a licensed life insurance representative, and I hold a Series 6 license. While managing to keep my marriage together, it was good for the first 5 to 7 years. We had 3 beautiful children together, but after the birth of my son, and after 13 years being married, I asked my husband for a divorce. And 6 months after, we got back together. Because why? Insecurity set in again. Well, that lasted for another 3 years, and then I realized that was it. And it was my 13-year-old daughter that said to me, Mom, Dad really doesn't love you. You need to leave. You need to get out of this marriage. Because when someone loves you, they don't treat you that way. I am a survivor. I was a battered wife. I was broken. I was fragile. I was bitter. But today, I have found my soulmate. The husband I have today is 26 years my elder. And although a lot of our conversations are centered around Rosa Parks and the March on Washington, he keeps me laughing. And he makes me feel like I'm the most important person in the world. So when you see this smile today, the smile you see and what you see behind the smile is love, is encouragement, is hope. But don't be fooled by this smile, because it's not just a pretty smile, but it's a seasoned smile.